to steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit.
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Once, don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, you're left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We got protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posses. Hola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be wet, the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher, no am I some pastor or preacher. Was released represent with this passion to speak up. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs, realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment, and they're framing it to us as innovation, right? Where we should all be so excited that this is happening. And I equate it to like the golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive. Come on. What's up? You would die for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide down. Blue sky but high ground. My crown slash helmet. So my aircraft still spit. Heavy tied down, evil seat belted. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I just felt it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked the cause my hand, I dealt it. Felt it vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. The buzz awful spices and velvet shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real, marquee velvet. Body you not for Mars, she's a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly, though haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the silver hand, but we're Hiller man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm Turtle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow, I set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or rock. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dated space AC, y'all. Bust stuck in the case, face off. law. After it shaped the state is a fate, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing the step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Sebastian Capero, a fly bandit. Mohawk, aliens, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas Carol lives what your fans get. Your worlds and pearls, what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. I don't want to go for the president. I go for you niggas that think it's all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas in Crackers can't stand me. You niggas just know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people and old people too. Mostly black people, I'm talking to you.
Y'all really thought that I was done with shit. Nah. I'm really down on y'all. Settle up. We not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is fine or whack. Here's a big fact. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow out, Big Mac. Whether earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. Enough with the chit chat. I see through the side eyes. Looking past the shy spot. Third eye gang icons. I don't eat pork, but I will fry tops. Before it's my heart, cold as an icebox, I'm saying die ops. From the skybox, and got scope on you pilgrims. The scope was some real ones. Some of our folks are still dumb. Yep, and blasting the fact that blood, we gon' have this real some warrior spirits inside me. This where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page, script played out. They keep us engaged, they keep or rage. This is played out. Who's of a dying society? Should been disobeyed now. Forehead and knees off the floor. Should have been prayed out. The draft is on. Go with no issue. Coulda loaded in tissue. Now it's control who blows the whistle. To who holds the pistols. The debacle's about who owes who the system. Disregarding the aboriginal issue. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is mine or whack. It's a big fat. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow out, Big Mac. Whether earth is brown or flat. What I was shit at. A fool is known by his speech. Yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, a sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet or jump the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence. Mostly disguised compliance. Silence by guidance. From conspiring to nervous. Other aspirants of violence. Charge of fire. Trying to advance to height. I'm trying to fight. In environments of migrants, I'm hearing the sirens. Ring in my ear, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, queers, groupies, and hype. Alignments, the assignment. Not the wisest, I'm not lying. My refinement, and confinement, the requirements for this climate. Y'all push on the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress. Don't duck, no wreck. Drill music for real. My soul they don't possess. Real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them. It's personal, know what the business is. Big monsters come full circle, so vacate your premises. We not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is fine or whack. It's a big fact. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, or Big Mac. Whether earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. We not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is fine or whack. It's a big fact. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, Big Mac. Whether earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. I keep you up. Signs and symbols are for the conscious minds, y'all. And with that on the temple, Draw. I had a vision the past night, yeah, a circulus round, created successful reality from a virtual now. How? Stand on my square cause they usurp your power. Them same little sneaky breezes that hurt you, they smile all up in your face, all up in your space. And I ain't talking all bras with dogs with whole trace. So I walk tall kittens while y'all cross slow race. I stay focused on walking through them tall gold gates. Draw badges circle around me to keep me from harm. The law fat checks purposely will keep me up calm. Water fire air earth turn me from that peace to a bomb. Blow the joint and split the range, the point the sentiments. I've accomplished my inner demons. 490-degree angles guarded by angel of shiny elite angels. Thank you, and I of course am the chief triangle. If I die before I wake, well at least I'll fly in plain view. I am my circle, how I govern four corners. Wise as a serpent for certain amongst foreigners. Out of state, out of place in the space they storing us. Learning firsthand of what fate was forewarned of us. I recall when growing, I spit flows, dope man, fly in the shell at Southampton, kept smoke, stay high. Years later, he's the same degree, just gained density. Gave my synopsis, he's hostile. I prayed I could say I behave by locals. I've raised my moral ground, way how my character stays live, the conduct squared up, self-esteem, the day sky, new God on what the world's been waiting for, the days not. May I say, and I don't abide by the same ethics. They fame, respect, and obtain the credit for keeping the obelisk erect, but with strange essence, but the epic of my name will reign and remain epic. Circumscribe my passions, my squares, my lift. Ask, is it worth the ride? Yeah, it's rash shit, but the beach is churchified, so I bear my shit. It hurt, I cried, this kid, and then it tried to eclipse my soul, bounce back from it. And I said, I'm done with being the sacrificial lamb. The jungle, I run it, thus the lion conquereth over this numbness. Made a conscious shift, even in darkness, the sun lit on you, false lights. Don't have to be gold to glitter. After something pop is just for show, go figure you did. Pounding you, bamboo or gorilla. I'm built like a silverback with hill track, no illa max than me. Masturbate her back, originally pretty, take the mask off. 360 on my square, see the circle is not your mask off. You call me dash or salt, the dialogue's trash off your past loss. Leave my footprints in the asphalt. Use the outline correction, last straw. I blast off my crash ball to the next zest of living. Sexually sex some whose ass off. When she walked that ass off, I talk back to it like who makes your Yanni sing. Her response, she dons me king. To Rudy gave me the script, my ops the prescription. This is my vision's description. Listen, I'm standing on my circle is me. I absorb your hate and make it work for me. Transform into fuel as I evolve. Advance is abnormal, dormant from and leave y'all. Right where y'all started at. Let me impart a fact. She'll be sitting in my ship as we chart the map. Thinking in destiny, the turtle and the hare. Acknowledge me as the circle and the square. Yeah. Now watch time and space rock the great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake, marks once we make knowledge one is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, weighs the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake, marks once we make knowledge one is when the rhyme and bass rock. I rose up, took a shower, purified my auric field, took copper for a wall to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, I've more to build. Solid foundation, my crown sharp, report and heal. Pound the pavement, sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman and child, rid the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this.
Sour soap. But don't take a lot of sour soap. We have the stuff they're making. Hold on, let me finish one right there. I'll give you a little tea. The sour soap that they're producing, it's not like when I was in New York and my boys were coming from Jamaica with sour soap and everything, and they were growing it, which was fresh. You could eat the fruit. It was a lot more beneficial, and they used to always brew the flesh. They used to brew the pulp with the tea leaves. Oh, stuff is sweet. It's good. This stuff, though, that they make, these idiots If we were making it, it wouldn't be no problem. You can have neurological problems. That's one of the side effects of some of this stuff. So if you're gonna get sour soap, be careful, especially coming from damn China. Even though they grow it and they sell it there, it's the mafias, the families, the little worthless monkeys who should. All the agencies know who everybody is, but you see what's going on. You see what's happening, right? We're gonna talk about that a little bit. If you can hear me, cool. Buenos dias. What's going on? Here we go. Amigo. Familia. So I love the diversity of the families that are coming over here. Don't worry, I'm not fire and brimstone. That's the only one I want to push something. I gotta see. I gotta see what I'm being told, and I know how. I just know. Like on Instagram, I'm trolling the F out of them because I know who's in control of it. I know that she's pathetic. I know she's unworthy, and because I like playing with her. You know, they're out here playing with you guys. They've been groomed into a condition to believe in something that's. Anyway, I'm not here to divulge a lot, but we're gonna get into this. All right. And I don't care who watches, who doesn't watch. There's a lot of people coming to watch, and they're learning, and that's what matters to me. You know, when people attempt to be all this inclusive, I say walk beside me. You can never be me. You can never think for me or like me, and a lot of other things that I'm not at leisure to say. I like to move around in a way. Like, nobody has to test me. You just got to come in my face and be like, yeah, and then find out. That's not no goofy fastball for the weak and misguided. No, I am the one just come up in my face, push your shit, and let's see where it goes. There's enough out there that no. I don't believe in. Will you calm down? I don't believe in this big us and little us and all this other stupid. No. And if you've been conditioned and groomed to think that whatever, I don't have to say it, then push it. You got idiots sitting around. Well, if you got the proper frequency, things won't bother you. If you have I was inventing this dial for your belt that would, with these little things that vibrate, made of copper, based on certain wires, the principles of vibration, that if you turn it to these certain little keys, it would have had several. It would cause animals to stay away, pests, snakes. I was actually producing it. I had got I used to always buy those, you know, those little mints you eat, the clarets, whatever. I was actually working on it. One of my inventions. I got it where ants would stay away from the house. I got it where ants would stay away from me. I was using crude stuff out of radios and stuff like that. A lot of people know I'm big into HO scale slot cars. You can take the little motor. You can get it silent if you use Dynamat, a small form, and you can have it with the silver and the copper and a magnet in front. And I only had it with 2 frequencies there. And then I was coming up with water dispersal, window refraction for increasing vibration. As you're listening, you know I know what I'm talking about. It's not like they might not have it, but you'd be amazed at what you can do. That's why I always lie when it comes to those IQ things and all that goofy shit. There is some legitimacy there, but not all. Sometimes you gotta leave certain things alone, people. So anyway, stupidity. And me, I literally could smell certain things that most of you cannot smell. I hate when a motherfucker farts and they think I can't smell it. I'm like, but it's better out than in. But when you move like you ain't done nothing, I'm sitting there going, you know, I feel like these motherfuckers like, you nasty bastard. I'll be by myself, be like, oh, excuse me. Watch you in your circle, all them dudes on the cover. Gotta know who really with you and who plotting on the cover. Old man of vision, I misunderstood. Predestined for victory, and yes, I could take you beyond. This is the one that they're gonna cry and cry about. I already proved that they don't own this, but this is what the monkeys do. You know what I mean?
To my niece, J Bravo, Bravo. Plenty much gratitude for this collabo.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got to get the other one because it's about time to start. Oh, you know we got to rock yet. You know what I'm saying? Got to rock out, cuz. Don't want to get this. The great, is it the greatness? All the great reset. Oh man, he be going in on that one. I might play that.
A lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed.
I have no respect for those who come against me who don't know me because they think they can do it because based on a lie of Talmud or some nasty, greasy rabbi, because they're sitting in the room with something, whether real or not, and they think that. That's what I'm talking about, the weakness of our creation. There are those who are never meant to exist, and our people did not eradicate. They did not get rid of them. Well, it's going to happen anyway. Nobody can stop it. Nobody. Even I was like, damn, somebody could be able to stop this. No way. Hey, what's going on, mi hermano? What's happening from here? How about? I just want to build this, go up in the mountains where everything's going to crap, and just watch until, you know, whatever. When it's time to give up another one of these things, you know what I mean? All citizens who haven't took a stand on meals too late when the caps get pills. Don't believe the TC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red in my bitches. Y'all didn't believe me about my little cricket bro, right? I know y'all didn't believe me. I know some of you are like, Brett, y'all gotta stop being so damn ignorant, man. For the ones who are, not the ones who aren't. I'm telling you. And he doesn't go nowhere. He stays close to me. So I make sure he's got some sugar, you know, he's got things that he needs. He's bigger than all the other ones. He's much bigger than all the other ones. And he's been around me for the last month and a half. I don't even know how he lived that long. Like 2 months almost.
This world is such a and then I say this.
When I arose this morning, about 3:30 or whatever, he was right above my head on the top of the tent, looking right at me. I thought he was gonna jump down and chill, you know, because he was beside me. Right, he was on this side when I went to sleep, and then when I woke up, he was over here, and I turned this way so I wouldn't roll on him, you know. And then he was right above me, looking down at me. And I was like, all right, cool. I was trying because I had the phone on my gun, right? So I was reaching to grab the phone. I dropped it. I just went back to sleep. I was going to take a picture of him looking at me. I was going to, you know, with the flash, but I didn't. I looked at him. I looked for him this morning. He's in my pouch, chilling. He was just there looking at me, chilling. Max B, I gotta see. He supposed to send me a new one. I didn't see it yet, so I'm about to go and see if it's over there.
This for my aunt Baby and the elder roaster. I phoned you. This for y'all. Wabalawo indoctrinated with the art of divination, power of Olaudomari Adarun Mila through initiation, the Ether system, ancestors. ancestor spoke, said this my proper station. Words
I don't know people. I can't even initiate yet, man.
My proclamation came to earth.
Can't even initiate them yet.
Destiny in handle. I had a blast with the bags, cash in my past life. New hourglass, time to flabbergast.
And you can't explain that. I can't even explain that.
On this path to
There's no why or anything.
Evolution.
No.
After I cast and the math, sounded my name in the ground and tremble my glory great. Astounds the simple souls that relate, profound and nimble, sacred estate, royal crown and splendor. Move from body to ether. I carry the Asha of Ifa. Unlike you proud deceivers, no one can stop me, neither. The more I sacrifice, the more powerfully I excel with my dilagoon. Spiritual guys, cowrie shell, flowery smell, operation, foreplay. Divination is the doorway to a transformational process. Regardless of
that's why your wing broke.
My light so bright it ignites the night. Shadow work I fight right over my smite parasites despite the bites. Third eyesight, serpent lightning strikes, rumbling thunder ramp. The background, so back down. I'm grateful to ask you who would test you next. Rescue you from an oppressive, hateful cesspool. Wasn't sworn in, I'm born divine. Spiraling fire adorns my spine. Oh, do for those who want restore corn and do not adore the swine. Versatile, the tactical temper, respected or unturned stone. No detail neglected. Cherish the day, the moon in the sky. Oracle of the Orish's perspective. I did this in heaven religiously. Divine in your written history. Put it in your misery. No chicken feet, father of mystery. Last spoken at last, the one. Fast as I spit, the task is done. Come to pass, the drum out last the gun. I don't rise from the ash, I'm the dazzling sun.
It's 10 a.m. What's happening? What's happening? All right, y'all. Y'all see what time it is. Let's turn this off. Charge. Come on. I finally got it fully charged. You can peep that. I finally got it fully charged. As crazy as that sounds, you know. I want to stay on topic. I want to read something as well from the Torah and the Talmud. When we think about war, right? I want to point out something that's happening in so-called America. Y'all know I don't recognize that name. I never have and never will. I want to discuss Candace, Tucker, Carlson, and this Nick Fuentes character and these fake black leaders. I put a video that I did upload showing Kerry, Obama, Bush's, you know, that they're all in the same camp. And now, it's not that these pictures never existed, but the censorship. They will never let it out. Now, why? Let me turn this notification because I'm not gonna play that with the goofy ass AI. It's just stupid. And then I'll have to read on here because you know they're gonna mess with everything because they don't know how to do nothing right. Because anytime, oh, they actually kept you up there this time. I went ahead and turned off YouTube and Google, you know, where they're saving everything and sharing it with everybody and all that. Now, I turned it back on because I don't care about the search history and all that. It means nothing to me. I just saw somebody talking about. I was like, oh, I know how to do that, and I went. And I was like, all that say, you know, only a terrorist does that. Goes out and plans and looks at things to utilize against you. Only a terrorist. It doesn't matter the organization, who's hiding behind what. Right now, I talked about we're occupied. Those of us in the true Aboriginal or indigenous, whatever these damn movements, toilet things are, a lot of us actually know the rightful heirs to this land, and our history spread around all over the place with goofies and murderers and sociopaths that have been conditioned and groomed, you know, raised and then, you know, nurtured up to be the dumbest they can be. It doesn't matter the background, what they do, what they believe, and what they're loyal to. Anybody can be conditioned and put in a certain situation. But right now, you have individuals in the police force. Now, are they being told this? Right, before I say it, well, they could be. Who are doing the dumbest things. They don't know about no constitution. Some of them probably don't care. They come from a different background. And they're doing the most heinous, dumbest thing. And the only thing they have is ID. And then I'll arrest you or I'll lock you up. Now, I can't say thank goodness there's still feds doing certain things and going after certain individuals. Maybe certain individuals are overstepping their boundaries. You know how it is with NPCs. Well, I'm going to use that term. And if you don't know what NPC is, look it up. All right? Seriously. All right? Seriously. All right? Why when I turn the volume down, it wants to keep this is what I'm talking about. And whether AI, chat sheet, whatever this goofy stuff is, you cannot allow any of it to circumvent anything against your will that's unnatural. Well, all of that is unnatural, and if your will is to be contested with it, like I have my chat GPT that y'all saw me download, and I called it Catherine after my grandmother. This is only because I don't mind it synthesizing a program based on what my knowledge is. They always say learning, it doesn't learn. Anyone that sits there saying a machine learns, something is wrong with you. Can it pick up? Can it, like bioflavonoids, can it see something based on not visual, but its cortex of deciphering and numerical or however it is and shapes or whatever, put it in the context based on a format laid out? Is it dynamic to its pursuit, not in chasing or following as we do, or drama, but it's binary codes that allow it to recognize certain things, not as perception, but under the guideline of its established control. So I don't mind. They're allowing the police to do the dumbest shit because with the UN and all the, they want to say, look, America's policing doesn't work. The police are out there abusing the citizens, and we need them. They're out there under the guise of false religions and doctrines. They have moved in a certain way. Now, there are old-time police who are not part of this, and ones who are recently retired, ex-military, and they're going, something's not right. You have a lot of foreigners, some don't even speak English, who have donned the badge and the costume based on your fake-ass politicians who have not been groomed to condition, but have accepted the role they play. Just like most Zionist Christians, there are plenty of them. They don't really want what's going on, but they're in the circle. And you know what happens, when you're indoctrinated in certain circles and you decide to move away or wane off of it, there's no weaning off. It could come with a lot of things. Our people have been at war with foreigners on this soil for the longest time. Gotcha. Told you. Gotcha. And I know that it's hard for people to see it because, look what they're doing with BET. One of them frauds, they own it, right? And so now the BET awards, you got these dumb liberal idiots who like to scream at other people, get up on the stage and get pushed off into the audience by the overzealous security. So they're talking about it going away, banning it. Why would they not? I tell you, people walk around this delusion as if they're not at war. And then the war is conscripted by Soros and Levin and all these other individuals out of California and New York with these idiots who like to dance around in front of the new stairs and stands and stuff down in Times Square. Heel toe, where everybody's copying our culture. And nobody wants to see anything for what it is because they've been nurtured and groomed to be as dumb as they can make them. So you have Nick Fuentes, you have Candace Owen, you have Carl Tucker. Yes, his father was a CIA agent. How about all of my agents? Some are just better at delivering things that make you feel comfortable without compromise. Yet it's all about compromise. Nick Fuentes, 25, 27, homosexual, living in the basement of the home with his, in Chicago. Fuentes. If you study Fuentes, it belongs to a black monarchy by the definition of the Moors out of Española. This idiot is nothing but propaganda. Established probably because he got backside beat up by a big old brawly gang member, Negro gang member, and tore him up and then dumped him, and he probably hates every bit of it. I'm just throwing it out there. Now, is he eloquent? Some would say yes. Are you serious when you don't even know real history? because you have a mouthpiece that can run on like he's guarded with a mouth guard with a breathing port big enough for a jammy to fit in. Look, man, I mean, if people want to sit there and put a show on for dramatical effects, go ahead. Candace Owen, come on. Legitimize everything. How do you say the things you do, keep a monetization, and continue on as if it's all right? It's always about the dollar, but never about what people think. In obscurity, Tucker Carlson, how do you think that he was able to do things he does and continues to do the things he does? Just like some of all the other individuals y'all watch to get big followings, because the majority of people are ignorant. I've had 20 people say to me, damn, bro, you should have like over 300,000-400,000. You know who controls the platform? It's theirs. I'm only but a speakeasy. I did certain things that I knew could have drew people in. I used character assassination and assessment, and I knew the numbers could come. But the majority of people falling were government agents, police, you know, the infidels. I ain't no Muslim. I just think infidels is the funniest word. Excuse me. All right, anyway. I really do. Anyway, because I know its background and where it comes from. Regardless of that, I sit there and says, wow, they're attempting to corner me off. You know, I have this this thing where I drab into the language of some of my ancestors, and I go, and I have to be about German people speaking individuals to get my accent back. But I know that Zugrande, Legionnaire, no, Zugrande, Legion de Zugrande de Legionnaire de Zionism. That's German, but I don't have my accent no more. My accent's been gone over 30 fucking years. You know, I don't have it like I used to have it, which means, you know, the problem is Zionism. I speak German. I don't have the accent, so I don't, because I get my vowels and my all those, and so I have to go and remind myself how it's said. And I'm going to start practicing German as I have been my Spanish, and get back into my Mandarin, which Chinese anyway. And I've got to reacquaint myself with my accents. You know, I used to do voices and all that kind of stuff. But in German, that's the problem. I mean, I look over in Germany all the time, my daughter did, right? I look over and she's about to retire. You know, she's rich as fuck, but a doctor. Anyway, I look over there and I see the very thing that Hitler fought off. And you see the drugs, the zombie land. You see the politicians, you see the worthless police officers who would persecute the people with the camera telling the story than the people doing the drugs. We know that Amsterdam, it only worked for a certain reason. Well, you had a place that was contentious with red light, sex museum, and where you can relieve yourself and they go enjoy with partying, you know, you know, and so therefore, when you go to eat and drink, it was more about replenishing. And when you're on the veranda, riding through, going to see the porcelain and the blue, you didn't want to be all hyped up on drugs. So you have a limit, which is, and they were able to consummate a relationship where people aren't abusing the drugs. They're still in the place where they can get all the help they need. But then you go to Germany, Kiel. I would prefer to live in Kiel, Germany, around some relatives. Frankfurt and all that, you have too much military occupation, Zionism, and everything else, a Christian and false identity. Catholicism is on the fall, Islamophobia, all that is happening over there. And it really pisses me off. But yet you have Switzerland, where everything is just fine. The original Vikings were Negroidal, indigenous. And now you have people running around thinking they're Vikings because they grow long blonde beards and put 2 braids and they shave a little mohawk on their head. You can never imitate the original without knowing the truth of its history. Edinburgh, Scotland, right? I am most gratuitous to those elders who I met there. It's like the elders in my family. They can lie about history. They can do whatever they want, but there are those who've always known. And you can't lie about that no matter what lie you tell. Candace, Zuck, and all of a sudden Nick Fuentes out of nowhere. And people are loving it because right now, because of the liberal idiot, knucklehead Negroes, regardless of the ones that came over saying I'm voting for Trump, it's the idiots, okay? This is the reason why you have this defiling and all these dumbass Latinos and dumbass Peckerwoods in certain places thinking it's all right to drop a hammer saying, we don't want that kind here, that kind here. And they don't even know real history. They think that this is their land. It's everybody. It belongs to everybody. No one has ownership. The problem with the American Negro is they have been washed up by the Farrakhan's who not too long ago say, yeah, okay, yeah. We got Indians here. And then these worthless sellouts, these vagabonds, these hobos of life, these Kermits of resistance, not for the best, but for that with their futile narrative. Then we have all these new age I'm Indian Negroes of the last 14 years, most not even that long. And they just want to follow him because they know they can make currency. They're not going to build a bunker. They're not going to save you. They're not going to buy a hotel and buy land. They're not going to sit there. They're going to make fake paperwork. They're going to say, come over here. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And none of it's beneficial because right now, everything that you think means something is going away. It's sad when we have 12 people watching and only 7 likes. And this is the thing that we deal with. Hey, come here, buddy. He's a big fella. He's landed on. That's a big. I don't even know what that was. It just landed there and looked at me and took off. Hey, buddy, was it a drone? I had to speak tobacco in his visors. But anyway, it's just the same thing we have over and over and over. We have people who want to believe in something, but they don't believe in themselves. You know, belief, what it means, right? The lack of knowing. It's the lack of knowledge of having. You accept something to have faith in something that might let you down because you don't really know. So to believe in something you really know nothing about means faith. No, it doesn't. Faith is more of attempting, not trying. Trial. Where's the trial in standing up if you stood up? But where's the attempt in case you fall down? You made a vile attempt. What do you call a valuable attempt? Nobody wants to hear nothing like that because they want what's been centralized as far as their visual cortex that comes into them and gives them a warm, fuzzy feeling. And a lot of times it's lies. Yeah, I was your buddy. We'll look at him. We'll fix his wing. You should know better. Anywho, the underlying problem in Germany, all right, is the Zionism, okay? That's what it is, as it is everywhere, whether you like it or not, all right? And yes, it's the Zionist. Zionist is almost like an S, all right? So here I wanted to look at something right quick before I get off the beaten trail, right? When we're thinking about, the creation story, when we look at the Torah, right? It's always about in Genesis 1, there's 2 different versions, right? The Torah, specifically the book of Genesis, tells a creation story in 2 distinct accounts. The first in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, 2, and 3, right? Well, 1 and 1 and 2 and 3, excuse me. Chapters 1 and verse 1 and chapters 2, verse 3. Describes God creating the heavens and earth in 6 days, culminating in the creation of humanity. I guess that's the term for the new man and woman, which is closer to in relationship to what we think a beast is anyway, because that's what hue of a man is, and that's literally what it means. But anyway, on the 6th day and resting on the 7th, so this God has to take a rest. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 4 up to 25 focuses on the creation of Adam and Eve and their placement in the Garden of Eden. Why would you have to create them and put them in the Garden of Eden? That would allude to the fact there were those outside when you look at Genesis 1. I keep telling y'all, you need to really pay attention to what you're reading. And stop letting people tell you. I'm only reading verbatim, but I'm with great expectations, hoping that you see something else. You know, it is well known within a certain rabbinical whatever, things exist, but they say bringing back the ancient one. What does it deal with? Is it a conscription of a narrative to paint a false picture, to give people a synopsis that is something else that keeps them away or keeps them eluding from the fact of the truth what may exist? Well, how can that be if you don't really know the truth in the first place? So I guess it keeps everybody dynamic, putting energy in something outside themselves instead of looking inside themselves. That's why I really haven't been reading all those books on Inky and the da, because I don't want you to be stuck there. I don't want you to capitulate. Balance is the only thing all right. The weak would be afraid of balance. Hell, they're afraid of you even attaining who you truly are. Okay. So, first creation account in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, chapter 2, verse 3. Day 1, God creates light and separates it from the darkness, calling them day and night. So that means darkness was always the abode where there was no problem, no chaos. So let's stop consummating the relationship as Anasazi, our enemy, thinking that Jannah is a bad place. Jannah is an action based on the darkness souls of those who are not consciously aware of their truth. So when I say Jannah, it's like saying Zen, Jinn. It's that place that has too much confusion and confliction. So it's darkness filled with a whole lot of stuff. Now the light's supposed to be a direct path out of that. Is it really? If there was no issue in the darkness and you had to create light where all the issues arise, such as they shall know life and death. But does it mean that I'm going to create something so majestic and prolificated in this greatness of its existence that it would fall or fell? Never. Day 2. God creates the sky and the firmament to separate the waters above from the waters below. I know what you're thinking. That's the earth, the firmament. Okay, this is part of the firmament. As above, so below. And that's where you get into that Star of Remphan, Bull Crap, Star of David, and about, I don't know, 6 or several of the labels. But y'all buy into it. Why would you not? Why would you not? Oh, that is so good. Oh, sisters. Oh. God, so day 3. God gathers the waters, creating seas and dry land. God gathers the waters, creating seas and dry land, and commands the land to produce vegetation. If you gather the waters, that means that there must be sediment in it. So if there's a firmament above and a firmament below, what is it expressing if the land didn't exist? I think y'all have been misguided and misled. Now, yes, we can go to Gilgamesh. We can go all the way back to other stories that go before. Like Lilith stepping onto the waters of my story, my ancestral story. And the waters being light, arid, yet full. And so before, when she realizes and she starts to go into the abode, the turtle stands up on its 4 pillars, its legs, and gives her a resting space. And Lilith sits down on the tettle and sees all that which is not repugnant but alive, and gives it footing, and it forever stands on its pillars. You know that turtles can live forever? So could you if you only knew better. I can't tell you the whole story. Then I got to get into the comet and the long tail and the signs above, because you don't see the signs below. Day 4, God creates the sun, moon, and the stars to govern the day and the night. God creates the stars, the sun and the moon to govern the day and the night, to which he labeled when he separated from the darkness. It's the simple things that'll grab you, and they've grabbed all. Now, I'm not saying dismiss anything. I'm saying actually be attentive. Now, on day 5, God creates the sea creatures, and and what does it say? And the birds. God creates sea creatures and birds. Day 6, God creates land animals. And finally, humanity. Humanity. What God has to create the hue of man, for they see like us. Was the lower existence of God not the upper existence of his creation? So what God are we talking about? Humanity, both male and female, in God's image. Are you really listening? Are you intrigued yet? Really, really listen, individuals. On the day 7, God rests and blesses the 7th day. Humanity, all right, and designating it as a day of rest, they put the Shabbat. Come on now. So it says here, no, the word Sabbath, Black Sabbath, is not Yiddish. It is derived from the Hebrew word Shabbat, meaning rest or cessation. Well, in the definition, cessation is the fact in a noun, the fact or process of ending or being brought to an end. Could that be negative? As in, I don't know how to pronounce the other word in Latin. I don't want to, but I think it's iostitium. Yeah, I would ask you to look it up. So in the similar, it alludes to ceasing, finish, halting, stopping, termination, which alludes to stopping something, or I terminate you from this job, or you've been terminated, which means you're ending an ending. The word game is so big, but when you're indoctrinated, you sit in Sunday school and you sit and you shake your head and you learn how to cry because your emotions become overbearing because you've been told this is what you do in order to see something else, not knowing that you're creating this collective thought that makes you emotional and you buy into it all your heart and you go crazy for it. You're not really in control. All right. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up, people. So, on the second creation account of Genesis chapter 2, verse 4 through 25, it focuses on the creation of Adam from dust and his placement in the Garden of Eden. It describes the creation of Eve from Adam's rib. Bull crap. Because they used to have everybody when I was growing up, man, and they would talk like this, like they knew. Man, this is a little part of his right rib. And no, all your ribs are there. They never been missing. It's a bunch of haka. Because they says you will be joined at the hip. All right. So anyway. It also outlines the prohibition against eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Why in the heck would I put the tree to tempt you with good and evil when everything is abundant? Do you see where that can take you? That can give you that, and because we grew up, you know, watching the commercials, oops, I made a mistake. That's all. Making mistakes aren't hard at all. You are not a mistake. The mistakes we have been making are with things that have a plutonic relationship with chaos. And if you walk in the divinity of chaos, thinking you're walking in the divinity of your fictional life, then you're actually walking in the boat of a whole lot of crap in the darkness. You cannot see it because you've been nurtured, not in this truth, but everything to have you capitulate to make the very mistakes because of being inquisitive. So if man and woman, based on eating of the tree, the fruit of tree of knowledge, but never allowed to eat from the fruit of life, make that make sense. For they see they are like us. Who is us compared to the plural of your God? But then we forget. We forget this. We can simply wash everything because everybody knows everything. When we look at Psalms chapter 82, verse 6, quoted by Jesus in John chapter 10, verse 34, the phrase is addressed to judges, highlighting their position of authority and responsibility as representatives of God. Now, Jesus uses the verse in John 10 to challenge the Jewish leaders who accuse him of blasphemy for claiming to be the Son of God. And when we look at it, we look at Psalms 82. The psalm is a rebuke to unjust judges, reminding them that they are accountable to God despite their position. And the Hebrew word Elohim, we already covered that, but we're going to ride with it. Okay? It's translated as gods or judges. The verse emphasizes, that's why I get upset when y'all talking about Elohim. I'm like, shut up. The verse emphasizes that these human judges, human, lowest that of existence, not even man or woman, while holding a position of authority, are still mortal and will be judged by God. And the verse emphasizes that these human judges, while holding a position of authority, are still mortal, like mortar. It's supposed to be the foundation, you know, the brick or the rock, right? That Masonic shit. Anyway, now some interpretations suggest the term gods refers to those who exercise divine authority on God's behalf, prophets, right? Acting as his representatives in earthly matters. Well, what God are we talking about? And who would have to deceive you? Now, when we look at John 10, this is their narrative. I have my own. John 10, Jesus quotes Psalm 82:6 to argue that if the scriptures refer to human judges as gods, then his claim to be the Son of God is not blasphemous. For he came and he was judging accordingly, right? His point is that if the word of God itself acknowledges human authority, figures as having a divine connection, then his own relationship with God should not be so readily dismissed. He was being sarcastic, nearly. Now, this highlights the concept of Jesus as the ultimate divine authority. Yeah, I'm getting tired of hearing that Jesus fucking name, but anyway. And his relationship with God is distinct from that of human leaders. In essence, the phrase "ye are gods" does not imply inherent divinity in humans. Why would it not? If Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Then the Lord God formed the man out of the dust from the ground and breathed the breath of life into his nostrils, and the man became a living being. But if we go back contextually and we look at Psalms chapter 82, verse 6, and it states, not as we just read, this is why they keep messing with stuff. They need you laws. Your creator stated, I said, ye are gods. You are all sons of the Most High. You are children of the Most High. Are you starting to get it yet? Just like Hitler actually just says, World War III will start. And you see the opposite because they have to do this. He literally said, for in America, they have what? The jewels of God. And he really said it. I met enough old SS, yes. And I remember asking them, because I remember they were trying to debunk it here, these Zionist goofies who are perversions, who like war and death, who do for whatever it is. I'm not here to talk about that. And they said, oh, yes, it was well known who y'all were. I mean, they wanted you to think Hitler was racist, but he had to shake the hands of the man Jesse Owens. That's not even the only one. The fact that we had soldiers on the Gestapo on the push to Poland, the Bolsheviks in Ukraine, who went to dispel them from the land because they were a perversion. There were many Hindus long before they were called Indians. They had to steal that away. There were many of the Chinese and Japanese who fought side by side with the Hindus, the people in North Africa, the Eritreans, South Africa, that's right, and American Negroes, and Mongolians who fought on the side of Hitler. They knew the right. They knew what was happening. They didn't want to see it happen. Even Iran recently just showed you our truth as Putin had done. Because you have these little idiots talking about in Egypt, and they're Arabs, the ones today. No, the original Egypts as Gaddafi, Muammar, and all them said, well, niggas, black as night. You retarded tards. If you study the truth about what you call Turkey and the Ottoman Empire and the delusion and a part of war, and even that made against Hindustan and Cathay called China and Japan, all around the same topic, all the way to Hawaii, Easter Fake-It Island. They call it Easter Island. You believe that? Now y'all know. And they subjugate the American autochthonists under the guise with all these delusional fucks running around. You think I give a damn about their policies when I was not included with my family's treaties? Everybody wants the fire, but don't want to see the smoke that comes from the pyre of it. Everybody can see the smoke, and before they realize that they're burnt by the fire. Make that make sense. When the pot's calling the kettle black, and the pot's not even a fucking pot. You starting to get it? And y'all keep playing into the vestiges of vices. Now, I don't care. That's your choice. That's some good shit there. Some good manipulation. And this stuff is so good. I swear to goodness. This butterfly pea flower, oh my God. Look at it. I love them. I love them. I'm not here just to bring dissension and say, stop. No. Yeah, some of y'all might need what they've given. Whatever. But not I. Not I. So remember, in the underlying problem, it's like I said, Zugrande, whatever. I got to practice it friggin' days before I get my accent back, and many other statements and words, and I got to remember certain things too. It's been a long time, so you know. And then one day I'll sit here and I'll blat out all kind of German crap once I get it locked in again. Now, when we look at Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22, in the Torah states, you shall not lie with a male as a wife. No, you shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. This verse is part of the Mosaic law and is traditionally interpreted as a prohibition against homosexual acts, specifically male homosexual acts. Now, in the verse, Leviticus chapter 18, verse 2, according to many translators, prohibits sexual relationships between men and comparing it to the act of sexual relationships between a man and a woman. And the abomination, as far as the verse labels or labels this act as an abomination, which in the context of the book of Leviticus refers to something ritually unclean or morally offensive. In its interpretation, we're dealing with the traditional understanding of this verse is that it prohibits homosexual acts, particularly between men. However, there are alternative interpretations, particularly within Jewish scholarship, that focus on specific contexts or interpretations of the Hebrew text. And you know how that comes, and the perversions, right? So let's take a look. Let's pull up the correct one. So in the Talmud, a central text in Judaism primarily discusses in Judaism. It says a central text in Judaism. You know, before I go into that. They lied about this, and I showed y'all before. But they say it was written between the 3rd and 6th century. Well, if you move 1,000 years, it would take it back to right before the Crimean War, which would be the fall of many nations around the 6th century, when all of a sudden they disappeared. Remember Arthur Kessler's 13th tribe, where he didn't lie? And all of a sudden he said, well, we had 500, 800, up to 1,000 years all of a sudden added. And y'all think it was like 19 something, 18 something, right? It's a fake civil war, to which we were fighting them from that very time period when the Talmudists were reading this to create their own religion off of our stolen identity, our life, how we lived, and we fed the world, and we covered, and we took care of it, and built great things to keep the ancient one away. So when you think about the Babylonian Talmud and you think about the Jerusalem Talmud, we all know that they're both bullshit, because we remember the individual who created it, right? It was compiled by Rav Ashi and Ravina too around 500 CE, although it is more likely that this happened, and that's lies. But no, it's facts, around 500 and 600 CE, right? The Common Era. Y'all in the Common Era now, motherfuckers. But anyway, Rav Ashi, that ain't based on the theosophical, the conquering of India. They freaking know you assimilate, you become, you change all these different things, and you have all this false divinity of all these individuals. Now, there's historical text here, right? Regardless of it being factual or fictional. lie or truth. I don't know why people don't research this stuff. These lies are really loving me, aren't they? People get all scared and butthurt, and they don't even know what they're scared of. You're dead. Okay. So the Talmud, a central text in rabbinic Judaism, rabbinic, remember when this rabbi shit came to be, right? Stuff we never had. Rabbinic Judaism, ism, ism, do we need to go through those suffixes? Anyway, presents a profound understanding of gender diversity through its recognition of 8 distinct gender categories: Zaka, male; Nekeva, female; androgynous, intersex; Tomtom, ambiguous, intermediate; Alonit, Hama, female to male, transition naturally. There's no such thing. Aelnut, Adam, you can read them for yourselves. That is their perversion. So in Islam, homosexuality is generally considered forbidden, haram. Many Islamic scholars interpret the Quran story of Lot, also found in the Old Testament, as condemnation of homosexual acts. And the Quran also contains verses that are interpreted as condemning homosexual behavior, though the exact interpretation is debatable. So in the Talmud, we reiterate the historical position of the Jewish faith enunciated unequivocally in our Bible, Talmud and codes, which forbids homosexual relationships. Is that the case when you look at the original Talmud? Absolutely not. According to the Talmud, homosexual acts are not necessarily forbidden between non-Jews, though same-sex marriage is forbidden. I do have a context of some of the original Talmud that I can pull up and read. I'm going to save that for the podcast, official, that alludes to child sex and all kind of crap from this original text. How they were making all these babies, like the Rothschilds and the band, all of them were sleeping with all these little girls to turn out new bastards you see running around now doing, and their offspring doing the most horrendous thing, who would also take and educate all those incubator babies. Well, probably the generations after that, once they used all of them as slaves to work and learn beside us, to create this new empire world that is a deep perversion. Now, I'm just saying, based on a ton of information, I'm not going to sit here and share everything. If you take your time, scroll, and look as you research, you may come across this very information, because they dismiss anything that is outside of their relevance. All right? Again, they're allowing the worst of the worst to put on costumes who have no rationale. Those who have been groomed in the military and accepted and put through, and they don't have to say MK Ultra, and there's a plethora of all kind of walks and colors and everything else, to do the things they do, even to put them in deep state. That means into this place where they are conditioned to study and learn as much as they can, and then to all of a sudden change up. Remember, I talked about the Clone Wars, the Republic. All hypothetical. It doesn't matter what I know. Like I say, I really don't know nothing, but I will share a little bit of information. Okay? Who all came in here? So these flies are about to drive me batty, y'all. So we have. Why do you want to slide up every time? You know, I gotta. Let me adjust this because this is stupid. I don't need to see top fans and all that shit. I just need to be able to see all messages as I select. Damn goofy ass machine. So we have. You know what? I could do that here as well too. All right. Kill Meal. Pilo Video. What's up, man? I know Jamaica was magnificent. I know it was, beloved. Tom, I got you right. Listening to the young guy. What's up? Marina, what's happening? Old Max, I got you. Yeah, but the boom still out. Seemed like there's fog over everything last week. Well, you could be down there. I don't know where it is. I don't think it's now, but they had this red mist that was burning everybody's lungs. I forget where that was at. Grand decision, Dev. What's cracking? What's going on? How you doing, bro? I want to say thank you. Robbie, well, thank you. Kill me. It's good to see you here, bro. Didn't know you was live. There's a video from yesterday. Ultra Instinct. Oh, for real? Yeah. I don't want to come on here yelling and screaming and all that stupidity stuff. I do that just to rile everybody, kind of like trolling, and then throw things around because I know they're emotional. The ones who are unstable, who don't get it, they're gonna come and they're gonna be sneaking. They're gonna try and do that, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? 80s born. What's cracking? What's going on, man? It's good to see you here. It's been a minute. Yeah, I made sure he had his, what you call it. Weird that, what was that I'm saying? Weird that they call themselves, yeah, right? I always say if you're going to make that statement and you're going to profess it in the dynamics of religious ideology, right? You should actually live that way and move that way. And I've met many people who went to the graves and they were very righteous. And I remember I would never reach upon them. I would say, just on the fact that you're living as righteous as you can, it's a blessing in disguise. And they would smile and they knew, you know? Hey, no, 24, what's up? What's happening, fam? How you doing, beloved? Salute, salutations. I got there, right? Yeah, something's biting me. Anyway. Wednesday night Germany speaking lesson sounds great. Noon next month. Can you please? I'm gonna do what I can. West Side, what's going on, yo? What it do? Homeboy, yes, that's right. Referring to meditations, okay. Hey, Nitz, yeah, what's happening, alcohol? What's happening? I can't say it yet, but some started already. Shabbat, shalom. Shalom. Salutations. Anyway, I hope that's beneficial. I hope that it gives you something to look at. There's plenty of information out there. People have they have diversified themselves. Kiramia's got plenty of things on this. There's a lot of people who have plenty of information. The thing is, we get the information and then we drop it and we forget. We get caught up in the political hemisphere of things. And then we forget that we're supposed to walk a certain way. It doesn't matter our background, what we've done, where we've been, what we believe, or what we're looking at, or what we see. We tend to get outside of ourselves and have less consideration for one another because we lose consideration for ourselves. I grew up where everybody eats. And we do our best to ensure that everybody eat equal portions. We never pressed the issue. We never stepped outside because discipline was hard. And then we get to this thing when we think we're adults that there's no discipline. Well, I'm hard knocks life. I always express to people, you can believe in yourself all you want when you're moving destructively. You think that it's going to work out. It never does. Never. We have to allow ourselves to breathe. Y'all remember call me saying that before? And we always choose to act like we got a respirator on and it's not turned on right. And so we're I explained a breathing exercise, and I wonder how many have actually attempted it. I actually get up pretty early to go take a leak. And then I stand out, and I walk off a little bit, and I do what I have to. And then sometimes when I used to always put a towel over the TV. I don't care no more because I've learned how to do it eternal. And the more you do something, the more you allow this calmness, this request, this different symposium, this different, you start to magnify. And sometimes it could be a little rough because there's no one there to explain it. And if you allow yourself to breathe, you don't need explanation. Really allow yourself to breathe. Then that would bring in the question, what is breathing? Well, have we been led to believe in something that isn't real? I mean, we can all become breatharians. You hungry? No. I'm on week 13th. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. I think I've had drugged y'all here long enough. I got to charge this all the way up, and then we're going to go ahead and get to work covering this some more, putting some more stronger points, and building up some of the things that are going to be the shells. And I appreciate y'all. And I got to cut out the parts for the door, put the 2 bolts in, and then we'll take it from there. I got to go down the shed and see if I can find to put the bug on so I can, because it's seated in, unless I make shims, tighten it down. But we'll check it out. All right. And I hope y'all appreciate the little information. Don't be enticed. Don't prolificate in all the races and all the political sway and the squandering. Do not allow yourselves to be robbed of your decency. You don't have to walk in indecency. You don't have to be manipulated. You don't have to challenge it. You don't have to fight with it or against it or for it. You don't have to allow yourself not to breathe. Okay. All these people come through and they have a hard time just hitting the like button. It's amazing. I don't have to comment on that. See you guys later.